Our correspondents also took to the streets to get to the flooded areas. Many areas along the Colombo Pugada bus route and the Colombo Degarana bus route running parallel to the southern bank of the Kalna River was inundated. This is how the Bandarawata junction in Biyagama had gone underwater this morning. Mapitigama in Malwana was also underwater this morning. Currently, many houses in this area are underwater. The 226 bus route is also underwater. As a result, transportation on this route has been hampered. Many residents in these areas have evacuated their homes. The Gonavala area in Palavatta was also underwater today, and the locals warned that the banks of the Kalni River may be breached by the rising water at any time. We were able to witness the manner in which the river banks had been broken along areas that supply water to the Ambatale purification plant from the Kalni River. The locals told us that if the levels reaches 10 feet, then they would be at risk. Meanwhile, Sevalivatta and Hangwella was also underwater owing to the Kalni River overflowing. Our correspondent noted that around 200 families that were affected are currently housed at the Mayaduna Mahavidyalaya in Hangwella. In addition, around 3,500 persons from 700 families have also been affected in Biyagama and its suburbs. Meanwhile, low-lying areas in Ratnapura were also underwater owing to the rising waters of the Kalu River. In the south, with the Nilwala River overflowing, many low-lying areas in Matara, Dampalla, Katdua, Aturaliya, Bandaravatta, Makandura, Sapugoda, Multiyana, Kamburupitiya, Ransegoda, Akurassa and Siambalagoda were underwater. Our correspondent notes that owing to this, transportation in these areas had been disrupted. Meanwhile, many roads in Badagama were underwater as a result of the Ginganga overflowing. The Badagama Dodangoda Road, the Badagama Nagoda Road and the Makumbra Hangama roads were underwater. Meanwhile, a section of the lane to Gaul on the southern expressway was closed due to an earth slip between the Dodangoda and Valipanna entry-exit points. Our correspondents also noted that owing to the incessant rains experienced over the past few days, around 275 families in the Anandapuram area in Mulettivu had been affected. They are currently being housed at the Anandapuram Vidyalaya.
On to news from the international desk. US President Barack Obama returned to the campaign trail, having suspended campaigning earlier in the week due to Hurricane Sandy. After rallies in Wisconsin and Nevada, the president ended his day with a campaign rally at the University of Colorado in Boulder, his third visit to the university since April.
For the past few days, all of us have been focused on one of the worst storms of our lifetime. And we're awed and humbled by nature's destructive power. We mourn those who were lost. Obviously, our hearts and our thoughts and prayers go out to the families who've been affected. We pledge to help those whose lives have been turned upside down. I was just on a phone call with some of the local officials in New York, as well as Governor Cuomo, and they've got still a long way to go to deal with this incredible storm. But, we've also been inspired these past few days, because when disaster strikes, we see America at its best. The petty differences that consume us in normal times, they all seem to melt away. We saw it here in Colorado with the fires this summer, and then the terrible tragedy in Aurora. In moments like these, we're reminded there are no Democrats or Republicans during a crisis, just fellow Americans.
This is an election of great consequence, and I think you understand that. I know there are some people who believe we should just stay on the current course that we're on. They think things are going just fine right now. I don't believe status quo is the right course for America. I believe that America finally needs real change. It was promised. We're going to give it to the American people.
In your sports news this evening, Sri Lanka Cricket has decided not to play the two ODIs of the Sri Lanka-New Zealand series at the R. Premadasa Cricket Stadium following the prevailing weather conditions and the status of the ground.
A statement issued by Sri Lanka Cricket said that it was decided to change the venue to the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium in Kandy. Accordingly, the second and third ODIs will be played at the Pallekele International Cricket Stadium on the 4th and the 7th. On inquiries made by Sports First Media Manager of Sri Lanka Cricket, Rajitha Fernando stated that water drainage system at the RPS is blocked due to the overflowing of the canal close to the stadium. These are visuals captured by our cameras. It is difficult to drain the water out of the stadium because the canal next to the stadium is overflowing. On other days, we use 3 motors and drain the water out. We are unable to do it now because of the flooded canal. The Commissioner of the Colombo Municipal Council, Badrani Jayawardena, denies the statement that the canal is an obstacle for the water in the stadium to drain out. When Sports First made inquiry, she stated that the canal near the R. Premadasa Cricket Stadium is cleaned often. According to data with Sri Lanka Cricket, ₹1.5 billion was spent on renovating the stadium. Millions are spent on renovation, but a water drainage system is not made. The ground gets flooded whenever it rains. Everything gets blocked here. They dug a drain here and one there. They built the road because of the ground but didn't put a drain in the middle.
And with that, we wrap up this edition of your Primetime News Bulletin. Of course, don't forget to log on to www.newssource.lk for the very latest on the world around you. I'm Shayan Silva.
I'm Sonali Manikabadake. Good night.